Monday night again, right here live in Madhouse Studios with the Maverick Soul Hour with Wah. We have a really special show tonight, I got to tell you. Before we start, though, I want to go over my week. Let's get that over with. Again, I'm going to give it up to my grandson, Jaden. He played another unbelievable game on Saturday night, which I couldn't go because we were at BB King's. But, Jaden, you're doing phenomenal. God bless you. I love you. The reason why I couldn't go is because the gang here, we all went into BB King's to see Rickety and Rare Earth. And it was a great night. We met a lot of great people. And I got to tell you, Rickety was amazing. I mean, Teddy Rondinelli and Parita, the place was smoking. I'll tell you, they were really, really hot. We've seen them many, many times, and every time they play, they get twice as good as the time before. It was an amazing show. We had a great time. We had great people with us, and it was just really a great show. I'd also like to thank Heidi Little. Heidi, we love you. You were such an angel to make that trip here last week. God only knows how long it took you to get back, but we're glad that you did get back home. I'm glad that we did get a little talking today. But we thank you. You were a beautiful person, and your music is wonderful. I still tell everybody to buy that record, and thank you very much. And a quick note, I have a quick note from my buddy Vince Martell from the Vanilla Fudge, lead guitar player from the Vanilla Fudge. Vince is very involved, which I am so behind it with him. Anything I can do, I will do. With his organization, it's 3 hots and a cot. It's for our veterans that are coming back and have nowhere to stay, nowhere to live. They're living under bridges. I mean, come on. I mean, these people lay their lives down that we can walk out of our house every morning and not, have to worry. And we're living in a land of freedom, and it's because of these guys that we are living in a land of freedom. And this thing is a wonderful thing. They build homes for the veterans. It's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. And Vince wanted me to just let everybody know, so I'm letting everyone know. He has a couple items that's up for auction. And one of the items is when the Beatles came over to Shea Stadium, it's a poster signed by Sid Bernstein, my buddy. The minimum on that will be $1,000. So you big heavy hitters, you want to jump in your pocket. This is something that's very rare. And for your collectible guys, I mean, this is something to have. So he has that, and he also has a guitar signed by Bernie Williams and the Vanilla Fudge. That's going for a minimum of $1,500 to start. But when, don't think about numbers. Just think about, if you're somebody that is able to go in your pocket that deep and do something great for these people that are protecting our lives every day that we breathe, please do that, and please get behind that organization. 3 hots and a cot. And Vince Martell, you are one good man. Let me tell you something. I have a lot of respect for you, and God bless you. And we're going to go to a little commercial, and we are going to come back with, I want to say one more thing before we go. I'm going to take phone calls tonight, but my guest, I don't want to waste any time like with, let's just do quick questions, quick answers, because I want to get every second out of this gentleman that we could possibly get, because this man that's sitting next to me right here can answer things that no one else on this planet could possibly answer. So this is going to be a good one. All you guys, all these questions and all these thoughts that you always wondered about, you can find out right here tonight on the Maverick Soul Hour with my man, Neville Chester. We'll be right back, though, after this commercial. Hang in there. Get your questions ready. I don't want to go too crazy with him because this guy has stories. We just had dinner together, and my God, I don't even know where to start. He is amazing, and it's an honor for me to have this gentleman sitting here. An honor, and I mean that sincerely. So we'll be right back after this commercial. Hang in there, get yourself tight, and get ready for a real good one with the Maverick Soul on Madhouse TV.
Hi, this is Mickey B., the Prince of Rock and Roll. Join me for a special oldies show, Volume 2, Saturday, September 22nd, 7 p.m. at the Patchogue Theater, celebrating their 50th anniversary, starring the Duprees. The Brooklyn Reunion, Jimmy Gallagher and the Passions. Emil Stucchio and the Classics, The Mystics, Barbara Harris and the Toys, Larry Chance and the Earls, Still in Style, and Directions Limited. For tickets and information, call 516-822-9612, 516-822-9612, or MickeyB.com, sponsored by.
This is Tom Mealy for 1-800-INJURY-LAW, and I'm going to get right to the point because you know what? When in an accident, there is no time to fool around or waste time going to firms that say, if it's not broke, there's no case. Soft tissue injury is no joke and can last longer and feel worse than a fracture. And if left unattended, you are looking at a lifetime of trouble and or pain. You are entitled to compensation. Listen, most of us on Long Island, we weren't born with a trust fund or a silver spoon in our mouth. Don't let someone tell you that it has to be broke or you need to be out of work to compensate for an injury sustained by someone's carelessness. The number you need to call is 1-800-INJURY-LAW, the Harrison Law Group. That's 1-800-INJURY-LAW. Listen, take my word for it. We're not in business to lose. We're here to protect your rights. 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
We are back with the Maverick Soul Hour. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you something. I'm like a little kid here tonight because this is like being a little kid in a candy factory of rock and roll, because this guy has been and seen and done it all. All. Just to give you a little bit, he was the road manager for Jimi Hendrix, this fellow right behind me here, Cream, The Who. He was with the Bee Gees. He worked with Brian Epstein with the Beatles. He's done, I can't even begin to tell you what this guy has done. But I have him sitting right here, and we're going to start at we're going to start by introducing my man, Neville Chesters, which I am so honored to have you here.
Tell me what you're welcome.
I am, really, I am.
It's great to be here.
I mean, for a person who's into it like I'm into it, and I'm not even into it like most, I mean, there's guys I know that are really into it. You are the only guy on the planet that could probably answer a lot of questions that we've all had in our heads. I mean, my thing is that just the thought of what you've done and the inside conversations and
Yep.
I mean, we had dinner before we came here, and he was telling me a story about that when the Beatles were doing Sgt. Pepper's, he would go, Paul McCartney would come in at night after each session and drop off the tapes, and Neville and Brian Epstein would sit and listen. I mean, come on, I mean, think about that. How was that?
Well, that was great. It was, Paul used to bring the day's mixes down.
Right.
So, and this is in March '67. So I think the album came out, what, June, July?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
guessing.
and he was, I mean, Paul was kind of the main man. And so I was working for Stigwood at the time.
Right.
So I would take Stigwood over to Brian's house at Chapel Street, and Paul would arrive, and we would listen to the day's mixes and talk about it and do a few other things, and that's another night gone.
And
This is just like night after night. I know.
who got to live that life? And as we were talking before, in which I know because Sid Bernstein had said it, that he has the greatest respect in the world for Brian Epstein, and you did also mention that too, that he was a great man and a man of his word and an honorable person.
Yeah, very.
And you really did dig him a lot, right?
Yeah, I had great respect for Brian.
And we lost him too early, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think I know why.
Yeah.
But what can you do?
Yeah, not much you can do about it now. But let's go to the lighter side of the day.
Yes.
Who do we start with? The Who?
I don't know. Well,
Monterey Pop?
yeah, Monterey Pop Festival.
Now, here's a man that was with The Who at Monterey Pop. I mean, come on, are you kidding me?
Well, it's funny because I'd actually had one of my regular monthly arguments with The Who back in late '66, like November '66. And I walked out on them. And Stigwood said, come and work for me. I need an assistant. So I went to work for him, and he had this amazing apartment on New Cavendish Street, a whole floor, and it had its own little servants' quarter. So I had my own little servants' quarter, fortunately, with a lock on the door, thank God. And say no more. And it was where Stigwood lived. The front room, which was the corner room with the big bay window, was the office. And it was where everything was conducted. So if we didn't work there, we went out. You know? So either Cream would all come over and have a meeting, or I would go and pick up Eric and bring him over. Or
That's Eric Clapton, by the way.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. It's first names.
I'd go over and pick up Eric.
No, I know, but I don't do second names.
You got to hear it from my side. You know
All right,
what I mean?
I'll try. I keep getting pulled up on that one. So Eric lived had a nice apartment in Regent's Park, which was just not a mile away maybe. But Eric didn't. Nobody seemed to drive in those days. I think it's because it was London and it's like New York. Nobody wants to drive.
Right.
And I had a white Rolls Continental, a lovely story a Bentley Continental. When I was working for Stigwood, when I first started, we had this little hire car, rental car, rental. And I kept on at him saying, we can't be going in. And he said, well, find a car. And so one night I was looning around late, as we did in those days in London. And I go past Jack Barclay's in Berkeley Square, where the Nightingales sing. That's where Jack Barclay's main showroom is, and they're the Rolls-Royce Bentley dealers.
Right.
And in the showroom was this white Bentley Continental, the drop thing. And I pulled up and looked, and I said, that looks nice. So the next morning I said to Stigwood, there's a nice Bentley at Jack Barclay's, And he said, well, go and have a look at it, and find out about it. So it was in the days when I used to dress pretty much, Levi's and actually I didn't have denim shirts then. I think I had roll neck sweaters. So I march into Jack Barclay's. This is like the
Right.
And I'll never forget it. The salesman I met was Mr. Winterbottom. And he had a pinstripe suit. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. That's the second name I'm happy to use. So it just so happened that this white Bentley was at the far end of a row, and they only have double doors at this end, so they have to get every single car out on Berkeley Square. So we get the car out, and he drives around a little, and I said to him, well, can I have a go, So he said, yeah. So we drive around, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this'll do. And so I said, I think, well, have it. I can get you a company check now. And he said, okay. I said, we're next to Argyle Street, next to the London Palladium. So he's looking at me. Now he's thinking, who is this guy? Yeah. So we pull into Argyle Street next to the London Palladium, and there on the plaque on the thing, it says Nems Enterprises. And I think everybody knew. So I go in, and I go up to Stigwood, and I said, I've got a Bentley outside, which I think we should have. And he says, well, just go and get a check off of Dick Shaw? Yeah, was the accountant.
Right.
So I go down, I get the check made out to, Berkeley Square, and I take the check down and I give it to him, and I said, okay, and I said, that's it then, and he goes, well, how do I get back to Berkeley Square? And I said, well, I guess there's cabs. And that was it.
Yes.
Basically, I mean, I had this Bentley Continental all the time, and everybody thought it was mine.
Right.
Because I never had Stigwood in it.
Right. Right.
Or a couple of times I would take him around, you know.
Must have been some wild
When it was
wild
dark.
nights in that car, huh?
Yeah, I had fun with that little. I had a garage for it a couple of streets away on Stanhope Place on the other side in a mews. The little London mews, these little cottages, and they have,
right.
each of them have a garage underneath. And the one I had like 10 or 15 Rolls Royces. And they were all professional chauffeurs, and they were all there with their black things and their
right.
boots and their hat.
You had your jeans.
And I would get there at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. They'd already been out and done the morning rounds, right. and they were cleaning and polishing. I never did. So I just used to walk in, open the door, drive it out, wave to them, and drive off, you know. Yeah, it was funny. I mean, yeah. I think of it now. Yeah.
And now you came from Liverpool?
I was actually born in Yorkshire, but we don't tell anybody. Because Yorkshire is a little bit like coming from, you know, down south.
I hear you.
It's kind of, you know, anyway, the reason I went to Liverpool was to work for a Liverpool band. I was dating a girl who was two-timing me on the drummer of the Merseybeats, this Liverpool band. I found out fairly quickly, so I made an agreement that I would take her to a show, because I had a car. She would spend the evening with the drummer, I would mess around, and then I started helping the roadie. And after 3 weeks, I mean, he said to me, oh, we're so-and-so next week, so-and-so. And after about 3 weeks, he came to me and he said, well, you know, the band are beginning to get big, you know, they're getting up in the charts, and we need somebody else. And they said, why don't you ask Neville? So
that was the start.
That was the start of that, yeah. So I moved to Liverpool.
And how did we end up with The Who?
Well, the Merseybeats went up as far as they could go, and then they started going down. And you don't want to be with people when that
right.
happens.
Wait a minute. You also, who did you just tell me, though, you turned down? You turned down Zeppelin, right?
Oh, that's later.
Yeah, but I'm just
Do you want to keep this chronological or just
okay,
throw
right,
anything?
right.
Well, we throw anything.
I'll forget, but...
I mean, I turned down James Taylor as well, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway. So the Who... the Merseybeats were going down, and Kit Lambert and Chris Stamp, who were the co-managers of the Who, liked Billy Kinsley and Tony Crane of the Merseybeats because they had Everly Brothers Harmony.
Right. Wow.
So he decided he would manage them and split the band, and they would become the Merseys. But I asked if I could work for the Who, because he was managing the Who. And at the time, he said, well, they've already got somebody. Here's another funny one. A couple of weeks after I had asked, I'm trying to think of the guy's name who was their roadie. I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, he had a van with all the gear in, which he left outside his house, and the band were getting a little worried about, you know. So he decided to go to Battersea Dogs Home one afternoon to get a German Shepherd to sleep in the van, right? He goes in the Battersea Dogs Home, he picks out a German Shepherd, he comes out, and somebody's stolen the van. So he got fired,
Never.
And I got hired.
And that's how that started.
That's another one broken. That's two today.
You get plenty.
Too many, way too many.
So, how was it working with The Who? I mean, it had to be exciting, and
it was different.
well, I know you did tell me some Keith Moon stories. He must have been tough to keep up with, right?
Well, I could probably tell you hundreds of Keith Moon stories.
I'm sure.
No, the reason why I'm not going to is because I tried to keep away from Keith as much as I could.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Keith was
Crazy.
scary.
Yeah.
Keith was scary.
Yeah.
He was a lovely guy, but he was very, very scary.
And John was the quiet one.
John was a quiet one, but Keith and John got on together really. I mean, they did everything together.
Yeah.
Wrecked everything together.
Well, he was also telling me, I mean, as you all know, the Who became famous for destroying their equipment after each show, and Neville had to repair it after every show. So I asked him on the way here, I said, how many drum kits did you go through? And he goes, oh my God, what'd you?
No, it's when I had to start repairing hotels that I drew the line.
Yeah, yeah.
There were a few hotel occasions.
Oh,
that,
I'm sure.
Early days, experimental.
But like, I mean, even as a kid, when I, like, not so much of a kid, but and when they first came out and they were destroying all the instruments and that, I mean, I don't know. It just it always kind of bothered me, but I guess it put them on the map. So,
well, Pete would only do something if the mood suited him. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's not like you could ask him to break a guitar,
right?
And it's certainly not like you could ask him not to.
Right.
That would be the worst thing. I mean,
but it always seemed like Mooney always started it.
Oh, no. Well, they all had these little intergroup.
A cymbal would go over
problems.
And,
yeah, I mean, I mean, Roger had this thing about putting the microphone. If you watch any footage, he used to put the microphone under the cymbal and hit it, and Keith really hated that. I mean, really hated it. So that was one thing that wasn't good.
Yeah. But that must have been unbelievably exciting days, though. I mean, I'm sure you were stressed out with keeping up with these guys too.
It was a lot of work.
Looking back, it must. I mean, you got to admit you were the chosen one to get to live that lifestyle.
And I didn't even know it. I mean, the funny thing is, I had no idea at the time that
But looking back now, you got to say, my God, I am like. Because I mean, it's not only I mean, if you were just with the Who, we could bring in other people that could say it. But I mean, you with the Who, you with Cream, you with Hendrix, you with Emerson, Lake and Palmer, right?
Yeah, Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
And you worked with Brian Epstein. I mean, how many people did that?
I was Apple.
Apple,
assistant A&R to Peter Asher, which is where the James Taylor story comes in.
And like for all you guys that I don't know if you can see the book he has in front of him. And I don't know, any of you movie people or publishers or something, that's his actual journal since 1968. Every day, working with all these major, doesn't get any bigger bands. And he hasn't even read it, but every day we were breezing through it. And oh my God, I mean, just you pick out any day of just open the book to any page. It was beyond belief. So then, after the Who,
so I had several fallings out with the Who. I mean, we would have arguments on stage. I mean, Pete would break equipment.
Oh, well, before I forget, I don't want to cut you up, but he also told me a story that you held the first 100-watt Marshall ever made, right?
Yeah, the first 4, in fact.
He handled the first 4 Marshall 100-amp ever made.
Ever made, yeah.
That man sitting right there. That's pretty amazing. That is.
Marshalls used to make a 50.
Might not be big to be other people, but I mean, come on. That's like to a musician. It's incredible.
Yeah, I thought about it the other day, actually. I must admit.
They also destroyed your body too, right? Lifting these things up.
Well, and a few of them fell on my head as well when they pushed the stacks over. But yeah. No, I mean, the Marshall standard amp at the time back then was a 50-watt, and Pete Townsend used to work they had a shop in Hanswell, just, near, outside London. And Pete pushed he wanted a louder. And so Jim Marshall got his tech guy to build a 100-watt. And we had 4 built. And the other thing, which I started to tell you at dinner, was Pete also ordered not the 4x12s, which we see nowadays, but 8 by 12s in one piece. So I had 4 of those. I had 2 each.
Yeah.
Pete's 2, he had the fronts covered with Union Jacks, and John's were just plain the old, carpet or whatever it was.
Right.
And I used to have to carry those things up and down stairs and put them in the van by myself on stages.
And fix all the hotel rooms.
And fix all the equipment, and I had boxes and boxes full of guitar bits.
I mean, this is, I really think we should do a 10-part show with Neville because, I mean, this is going to go so quickly, and, I mean, we could just go on and on. I'm amazed that you guys aren't calling and asking questions, I mean, because this is just amazing. But we are going to take a commercial. We'll be right back, and we're going to go to, maybe we'll go to Hendrix next.
Yeah, okay.
We're going somewhere. We'll be right back with the Maverick Soul right here on Madhouse TV.
I started in the cabinet business when I was 9 years old. Craftsmanship is really the key.
It's a game, I feel like going home now. Fails and turns to luck, words aren't making it seems. Whip hand and join fire. Cut the ground better, dang, just about out from under one.
You also have to make sure you have technology. You want to make sure you have equipment that is precise.
Down, hip hustling higher fire.
These cabinets, these pieces of furniture are now becoming art forms, and these kitchens are becoming art forms. And it's something that the clients have and they could appreciate and enjoy every day.
They don't get on, we all fall down. They don't get up if we all fall down. Get up, get on, we all fall down. We don't get on.
Having problems practicing at home? Not enough space for everyone? Are neighbors giving you problems over sound levels? Then come down to Long Island's #1 music rehearsal studio complex today. Phase 1 in Farmingdale, New York is your place for band practice, open jams, auditions, and recording sessions. For over 25 years, Phase 1 has been the home of countless bands of all styles who develop their musical acts right here. Our highly affordable, state-of-the-art equipment, immaculate spaces, and professional service are always available to meet your musical needs. Phase 1's well-managed, soundproof studios guarantee the highest level of privacy, allowing you to explore your creativity with zero interruption. Are you ready to showcase? Then check out Phase 1's 1,500 square foot super sound stage, complete with all concert quality amps, drum sets, sound engineering, and professional lighting to accommodate you and all of your guests. So, whether you're ready to take your show on the road, or you just want to jam with your friends, then come on down to Phase 1 Sound Studios, where music begins.
I'm just sitting here. We're in between commercials here. I mean, the stories. I swear to God, we're gonna have to do a documentary with Neville. I mean, this is just. It's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And he's sitting here like, no big deal, no big deal, no big deal.
We should use like
But-
puppets, you know, like
Hand
the
puppets.
Muppets. but I'll be talking to them as like we'll have the Beatles as the Muppets and Hendrix.
Well, get your little Muppet and tell me a McCartney story with Hendrix.
Or Hendrix McCartney. Paul McCartney was producing his brother's album, Mike McGear. Mike McGear. I think he was in the Kingsway studio, and Paul wanted Jimmy to do some guitar work on it. So, I took the equipment down, and again, it was late night, and they were doing things, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden, somebody says, do we have an acoustic guitar? No, Jimmy doesn't know it.
Right.
So McCartney says, well, I've got one up at the house. So I've got the wheels. So he says, you know where I live now? And I said, yes. So he gives me his keys to his house, and he said, you'll probably, when you get up there, you'll probably see half a dozen girls outside. They're always there. He said, don't worry, they'll ask you who you are, blah, blah, blah. Just be nice to them. Go through, there's the big double doors in the wall and the single door at the side. There's the key for that. Just go in, So I get there, say hi to the girls, go in. I walk up the path, and he said to me, go in the front door, walk down the hallway, and the third door on the right is my kind of library / music room.
Yeah.
And he said, I think you'll find there should be a Gibson Jumbo on a stand. And I think, he said, if you look around, you'll see the hard case for it. Okay, so I go up to the front door, put the key in the lock, turn the lock, I open the door, and all of a sudden, vroom! Martha, do you remember Paul McCartney had an old English sheepdog?
No,
You don't remember?
I don't
I
think
thought everybody knew. It's on the front of
Must be one of those Liverpool things.
No, he had an apple,
Maybe.
but it was called Martha.
So Martha greeted you.
He never told me. And this dog was bigger than me. And his paws went, and it just didn't make a sound beautiful. It didn't make a sound. It just went, "Doof." And I went, holy. And
Hello, Mother.
then I patted it, and I went down the corridor, and there it was, took the jumbo, put it in the case, and brought it back. And they did the same.
To Jimi Hendrix. Right?
Yes, Hendrix was doing work on.
He played acoustic then?
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. And I think Paul did as well. I mean, they did.
Yeah.
You know.
Did he turn it upside down?
What, Hendrix?
Yeah.
No, Paul.
No.
Oh,
saying,
Hendrix.
did Hendrix turn it up?
Both of them.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Listen, we have a call. You ready for a call?
Yeah.
All right. You got the Maverick Soul. You have the Maverick Soul.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Who's this?
This is Nick from Florida.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good. How's everything going?
How could it be any better? I'm with an icon here.
Man, I am dying. This is the greatest. I got to say, Mr. Chester, this is such an honor to get to see you, man.
Thank you.
And just listen, Tommy, I never met you yet, but I want to talk to you. You know that. different night, though. But I want to ask Mr. Keith Moon's drums. I know you don't want to go there, but who put the goldfish in the clear drums?
That would not be me. That was after my time. So I don't even remember when he got the Perspex or whatever they were, clear drums. But that was a little later on. When I was with them.
We have. I'm watching you on the screen just to talk.
When I was.
Anyway, so you didn't get to. I was, I had a couple other questions. And
We had goldfish in other places, by the way.
Fixed on that. I was.
All right, well, give us another quick one.
What's that?
Give us another quick question if you have another one.
All right. Just talking about Paul McCartney's dog.
Yeah. Do you remember it?
I actually just posted a picture on Facebook that I found of him with the dog. They were in a field with a bunch of flowers. The whole band was together. And it's on my Facebook page. I don't know how I'd get to show it to you. You'd have to go look at it.
Send it to Madhouse. Send it on. Put it on Madhouse's page.
Yeah.
Okay, I will. I'll do that.
It's also on.
But I have a picture of the dog because I know, Tommy, you questioned it. I didn't know about the dog either, and everybody asked me, how did I find that?
I would never question him. I just didn't remember. That's all.
Oh yeah, no, cool. And the fact that he held the first 4 Marshall amps.
You haven't heard anything yet. We didn't even get started. It's unbelievable.
Hey, can I ask a favor from him, maybe? I mean, I know
you
don't know me nothing, but can you
I don't do very good hand jobs, but you can try it.
Post for us to copy so I can post it in my music room with a picture of your face or something. I don't know, holding up. Could you do something like that for the public?
Well, there's some pictures of me on my Facebook, which is just Facebook/Neville Chesters. And there's a whole bunch. There's like a few with Jimmy, a few with the Who. I'm not sure if you can lift them off there. You can.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, well, from me, you
and
can.
friend Neville. I'm sure he'd love to have you as a friend.
Yeah,
I will.
I might have to re-invite you because I'm over.
And, it was nice to get to talk with you guys.
Well,
you're more than welcome.
We can't thank you enough for tuning in and watching, and I hope we see you every Monday. And thanks so much for calling. We appreciate it.
Yeah, great, from Florida.
I'm the Dominic that talked to you about that. Well, I'll catch you on another night. We'll talk. I'll tell. I'm a friend of Vicky, and I haven't met Tom yet, but we'll talk. You got something else that I'm interested in too, but
okay.
It was real nice to get you, Mr. Chester. I'm just like so
Neville, please, Neville.
Great.
Yeah, it's quite an honor for all of us here too.
It is. I'll be watching this probably over and over again.
Thanks for calling in.
Have an awesome night.
Thanks so much. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
Thanks.
Peace. Okay, so
McCartney has a dog called Martha. The funny thing is, it's on an album cover. McCartney signed a brass band, among other things. It was called the Black Dykes Mills Band.
nice, nice.
And there's a $10 for anybody who can guess what the single was from the Black Dyke Mills Band album. So get on the phone now. Tom, he'll give you $10.
Not I.
Yeah.
So where did we move to then? Then we went.
It was Hendrix. Oh, so I left the Who and in late '66 and went with Stigwood, and I was with Stigwood. A million things a day happened with Stigwood. It's too much to go into, but I remember in May, one Saturday afternoon, watching a documentary about Haight-Ashbury, Summer of Love. And I'm sitting in Stigwood's apartment, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, now that looks something else.
Right.
A couple of weeks later, the phone rings, and it's Chris Stamp. And he said, The Who are going to America, and they don't want to take Bob Pridden. There are reasons which we won't go into.
Right.
Bobby Pridden, because he's still with them, Bobby.
Right.
And they've asked me to ask you if you'll go back with them. And I thought, Haight-Ashbury, Summer of Love, USA.
Sounds good.
That was on a Wednesday. On the Thursday, I got my passport renewed. On the Friday, I got a visa from the American Embassy in whatever square it is. And on the Saturday, I flew to America. And then we did a few gigs, and then we did the Monterey Pop Festival.
And now, how did you hook up with Hendrix?
Right. A couple of weeks later, same problem, smashing the gear, no gear. Why? No money. F you, I'm out. So I come back to New York, and Nancy Lewis was our publicist. And she said, don't go back to England. I know I can get you a job over here. There's no question about it. So I hung around New York for a couple of weeks, and I started going down to Steve Paul's Scene Club. Right, so I'm down there maybe a couple of weeks, and who should walk in one night but Jimmy, Mitch, Noel, Chaz, and Jerry Stickles, who, by the way, got the job because I turned it down with Hendrix.
Right.
And
Good move.
So I went up to Noel and I said, remember that job that you used to ask me once a month? Is it, like, still available? And he said, I'll have a word with Chaz. And the next day I started with Hendrix.
Wow.
And that was the beginning. I started at the beginning of the Monkees tour.
So you were with Hendrix after Monterey?
Yes. Yeah.
So you were with the Who?
I was with the Who at Monterey.
Now,
No. You can't ask me that. I'm sworn to secrecy, Tommy. I cannot tell the truth on that one until all parties are dead.
Okay.
And so Peter and Roger are still alive, especially Pete. So that one is...
What was the reaction with the lighter fluid?
I thought it was rather neat, didn't you?
I thought it's still buzzing around.
It did the trick. It did the trick, apparently.
It was that I can outdo you.
I think Pete would admit it did the trick too.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. God, I mean...
All I know is I spent...
I thought I had a big thing of going to Woodstock. You were at Woodstock every day.
All I know is we had all this equipment on stage which had been given to us by Vox for the concert. And we had Vox gear from Vox with the Who. And the Who trashed the Monterey.
Yeah, they sure did.
I mean, I spent like half an hour avoiding being killed by the stagehands, sweeping up bits of Vox amps and stuff, and then I scarpered, I was gone. And we all met at the motel afterwards and had a huge party.
All right, we got another phone call.
Oh.
You have the Maverick Soul.
Well, hello there, Tommy, and hello, Neville. It's Laura in Hamtramck, Detroit. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Hello, Lauren.
Well, I have a couple of quick questions because I know everybody wants to hear the stories, and I'll just hang up when I'm done asking. But, Happy New Year to all my Jewish friends out there. And I wanted to ask Neville, was he with the Who? It's legend in these parts. In Flint, it was Keith Moon's birthday. Did he really drive a Cadillac into the hotel swimming pool? And I want to know what he thought of Stigwood's production of the when the Bee Gees did the Beatles Sgt. Pepper film. And that's it. That's all I want to ask. You guys, great show, and I'll talk to you next time. Mwah, love ya.
Love you.
Both difficult ones. I was with them when we did Flint, Michigan, but I have a feeling that she may be talking about a later date at a bigger gig. I mean, Keith was known to have driven several vehicles into swimming pools.
I'm sure he was.
I know that I wasn't with them, but I know I heard one story where they were staying at the Hotel Pontchartrain in Detroit, and they finished the gig at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock. Now, you know what it's like when you finish a gig at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Your vibe.
Well, we didn't have roadies, and we still don't.
Yeah, but
and at this age, it's very painful.
But
it's
you still your vibe. I mean, you. So they went up to the swimming pool, which was on the roof, and there was a little sign there, a chain, and a couple of little things. And it said, swimming pool closes at 10 p.m., opens at 8. That was the first thing that went in the pool, and a bunch of chairs and things, and and in about 10 minutes, the guy came up and said, come on, guys, knock it off. And so they had an idea. They went to John or Keith's moon. They got towels from everybody's room. They blocked all the doors off, right? And then they turned all the taps on in the bathroom. I wasn't there. I'm led to believe the water got to about 3 inches deep in the entire room before the ceiling caved in.
Oh, my God.
And that's supposed to be true. And the guy from the Hotel Pontchartrain, who's managed several hotels, the last time I met him was in Newcastle on Tyne, Sunderland, across the River Tyne. And I went, it was about 1972, I think. I went up to see the Who, just to see them. I was living in England. And they were staying at the Five Bridges Hotel. And it was the same manager. And he is apparently one of the, 3 hotel managers in the world which will allow the Who to stay in one of his hotels. Because he knows they'll pay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a great one. I was there for this. There was the Newcastle upon Tyne Pigeon Fanciers annual ball happening at this hotel. We get back from the gig and it's midnight, and there's the desk there, and then the elevator is here. And we're all fussing around, and Pete gets the elevator, and he's off. And the phone rings on the end of the desk, the registers. And Keith picks it up and says something and walks with it. It was the phone with he had. And just as the doors were closing on the elevator, he said, "Pete, it's for you." And he handed him the handset, and he held the thing. And then you saw the coil thing get tighter and straight, and ping. And suddenly there's Keith holding the thing, and we all wait. And then, a few seconds later, Pete goes, "I think I've been cut off." You can't make this.
You
couldn't script this stuff.
Thousands of these stories. Cream. How did we get involved with
Well, Cream was in the middle of me working with Stigwood. And roughly, I guess it was March '67. And they were doing European gigs, which I had done twice with The Who, maybe 3 times, and with the Merseybeats. And so Stigwood said to me, "You're going to Europe with Cream?" And I said, "No, why?" He said, "Because you are, because we're not, Mick's not going, we're not sending Mick," which was their roadie. And so I was forced, literally, I was frog-marched, And there were problems already. We flew into Copenhagen, into Denmark, and we were supposed to meet the promoter who had all the information. We had hardly any money and just basic equipment. And we're standing there in the customs thing, and everybody goes through, and suddenly there's nobody there, and they won't let us out because we can't tell them who we are or whatever's going on.
Right.
And the promoter is outside, and he doesn't know that we're in there. And this goes on for like 30 minutes. Well, Ginger Baker is not a man that wastes time. This was even before Jack used to get pissed off. But I mean, I think I might be one of the few people that actually got on well and still.
I was just going to say that
Ginger.
you got on.
Yeah.
See, that's my English accent. You got on with them.
Yeah. I mean,
how was that?
I always
wanted.
I wanted to be a drummer. I mean, the whole thing was back in the early '60s. I wanted to be a drummer. I went to Liverpool. I went to the Cavern a couple of times because I heard of this place in '62. I'd heard this place was quite good, And the night that I went, there was a band. There was 2 or 3 bands on, but the band that impressed me was a band called the Big Three. And I was blown away. Mm-hmm. And I said, there is no way in this world I could forget it. Yeah. So I did the next best thing. I couldn't be in a band, so I worked for a band.
Yeah.
And that's
amazing.
So, but I got drum lessons from every single drummer that I've ever worked for, and a few others.
How was Mooney's lessons?
They were okay. They were mainly putting drums back together. How drums go once they've been broken. No, I mean, it gets difficult.
I'm just sitting here thinking, because
Mitch was great, actually. Mitch was really great. Yeah. And the guy from the Mersey Beats, who taught me, made me do 4-part independence. It took me
I told you the story before. Mitchell tried to pick up my girlfriend at the Beacon Theater right in front of my face one night. I couldn't even believe it. But
yeah.
That's the way
Although
it was.
Noel's got the best one. Noel had a theory. It's called a numbers game, which is actually very true. The more you ask, the more likely you are to get. So he just walked up to girls and he would say, do you want a Coke or a... You know that word we're not supposed to say? And...
With some luck.
Yeah, luck. Do you want a Coke or luck?
Right.
That's it, yeah.
Well, it was
and he had quite a lot of luck,
guys.
actually. Noel got quite a lot of luck. He asked a lot and he got quite a bit.
They had a lot of luck, I'm sure.
He did.
Yeah.
He deserved it.
And the Plasticasters, too, right? You even got...
Yeah, well, Jimmy had one, and then there were 2 left over. Noel and I always used to share rooms.
Yeah, and?
Noel and I had the other 2.
There you go.
I remember waking up in the middle of the night with somebody interfering with me.
Well, I knew this hour was going to go by so fast. I can't even explain it.
Quarter of an hour gone?
It's 3 minutes. But I want to ask the audience if you guys enjoyed this, which we haven't even touched anything.
We haven't even
scratched the scratch. If you guys would like to see Neville come back, would you please, on Facebook, send it to Madhouse and let us know? Because I would love to have this guy come back, and I'm sure you all would, because, I've known him now a little while, and we've talked quite a bit. And
I'm moving into his house tomorrow.
And you're welcome anytime, believe me.
He doesn't know it yet.
You don't know I have 6 grandsons that live with me.
Oh, that's right. No, I'm not moving in then.
I might be moving in with you. But please, a wish from me would be you guys to let us know how bad you'd like him to come back, because
how bad?
What you're missing out on in this short hour it's sad, because just in the little
we hardly got the EP.
we didn't even get,
let alone the box set.
I know. This has been an amazing evening for me. I'm sure it's been an amazing evening for all you guys. But you got to really let us know, because he's got to go back to England very shortly, and I would like to have him back. But we need you guys to let us know how bad we want him back, because these stories, he has Zeppelin stories. He has,
it might need
he
to
worked
be
with the Bee Gees.
$100,000 worth of coming back, and then I won't go. I'll have the work done here.
Oh, no. Tom will give you some. That's cake for him. That's like, tip money.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Sorry.
But we would love to. I personally would love to.
Well,
have him back.
I'm a huge fan of yours, so.
Well, that's ridiculous, but I'll take it.
I know it's ridiculous.
I'll take it.
But I said it.
But It's been a pleasure. I'm sure. I mean, I've never heard it so quiet in here in any show I've ever done. I mean, this is the real
That's
stuff.
because there's two of us in.
And this journal, I can't get over this man's journal every day of his life with all these great bands, the Bee Gees, everybody, and he hasn't even read it. So all you publishers, producers, filmmakers, I mean, you got a gold mine sitting right there.
Actually, yeah.
So let us know, or you can go right directly to him. But it's time, I hate to say it, but it's time to wrap up the Maverick Soul Hour. And Mr. Neville Chesters, I can't tell you what a privilege and pleasure that this has been for me.
And me.
And we're going to do it again because you guys are going to let us know. Let us know on Madhouse, Facebook, Madhouse.
That was great, Tommy.
So,
thank you.
With that, I'm going to say, I'm sorry that you missed out on so much. I mean, because I've heard a lot, and I don't think I've scratched the surface.
And this is your man too. I think he can get things out. I think he can get things out of me.
I'm going to get Omar. We're going to let us know, but we got to wrap this up. It's that horrible 9 o'clock time, and I hope we see you all. You have a beautiful, peaceful week. Rest up, get some, and come back next Monday. We got some good stuff coming next Monday. So, again, please sign in. We're going to take the old Maverick Soul trail. We're going to hit that old trail. And I'm going to get Neville to put this hat on because he probably looked a lot cooler in it than. Oh, yeah.
No, I know. That's respect. No, that's...
I got a giant cranium. So, I do.
Well, it'll cover my face up, so that'll be good.
Peace, everybody. Love one another. Have a good time, and let us know about Mr. Neville Chesters here. He is unbelievable encyclopedia of royalty in the rock era. So, the Maverick Soul is signing off. Have a great night. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week back here at the Maverick Soul on Madhouse TV.